Hi, this is Lauren Lester, and you're listening to the GeekCast Radio Network.
Beyond good, beyond evil, beyond your wildest imagination.
You each have a personal vendetta against the Justice League. Their deaths would serve my goals. You've all tried and failed to kill members of the League on multiple occasions.
Everybody take what you can and get out.
It's the Justice League.
Say goodnight, Ace.
Savage has foolproof plans for how we can destroy them.
Kryptonite bullet.
I will pay you $100 million after you destroy the Justice League.
Take them down.
Pick a card. Any card.
Before, I broke the bat. Today, I break the man.
Welcome to the Legion of Doom.
Hello and welcome again to Animation Aficionados crossing over with ToonCast Beyond. I am your host Ben, and we're joined by my co-host TV's Mr. Neil.
Now to unleash screaming temporal doom.
And we have with us from ToonCast Beyond, the host of ToonCast Beyond, TFG1 Mike.
Hello.
And joining him, Steve Megatron.
Hello.
And tonight we will be talking about Justice League Doom, the latest in the DC original animated movies.
And this will wrap up the ToonCast Beyond Animation Aficionados crossovers, because we don't want to have to wait until Superman vs. the Elite and The Dark Knight Returns come out.
And what a good way to end this, because I think this was a good movie. This was an extremely good movie.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, I have to be honest, it's the fact that I am not that wowed over it as much as I was with others doesn't say this is a weak movie at all. This is a testament to the strengths of this team, to where they keep on giving us hit after hit after hit, where I can watch the movie and say technically this is a well put together movie, but it doesn't wow me as much as, say, Under the Red Hood or another one. That doesn't mean it's a bad movie. It just means that this team makes such good quality that this is great stuff. I mean, in contrast, if Marvel Animation came out with a movie as good as Justice League Doom, I would just be screaming out of the top of my lungs about how great this is, because Marvel Animation never made an original direct-to-DVD movie anywhere near the same stratosphere.
Yeah. Yeah, Superman Doomsday is better than any Marvel animated movie.
Oh, by far.
I think there are a list of things that are better than Marvel anime movies, but goes around the block twice.
Oh yes, most definitely. I mean, it's like Black Friday at Target and Best Buy. Yeah, exactly. Do you want to give a bit of the comic history before we get too far into the movie, Ben? Because we are going to need some of that Tower of Babel knowledge.
Okay, I thought you bought the graphic novel. Mike?
I didn't get a chance to. I wish I did, but I didn't.
Okay. There are some very big differences, but I'm actually glad that there are differences, because the one weakness the DC animated movie team has is when they do a direct translation of an existing property. Year One was a little lackluster because of it, and this is not that. They took the bare principle of Batman having contingency plans from Tower of Babel and applied it to this. In the story of Justice League Tower of Babel, written by Mark Waid, I believe, and drawn by Brian Hitch.
Yep.
Great team, by the way. Brian Hitch, great art. Mark Waid, one of the best writers DC ever had on a team book. The plot is focused on many things, but the biggest thing is Batman has contingency plans in case members of Justice League are mind-controlled or turned evil, which has happened in the past. So, somewhat justified, but at the same time, it's Batman. Batman's a little bit paranoid, and the story is basically Ra's al Ghul steals these plans from Batman with the help of Talia, and he uses these plans to occupy the Justice League so he can install towers around the world that translates all spoken and written text into Babel. That's why it's called Tower of Babel. And the plans are downright mean. I mean, Wonder Woman has a nanite inserted in her ear that makes her in her mind fight an opponent as her equal, and she will refuse to back down. So she's gonna work herself into a heart attack. The Flash has a probe shot at him. He vibrates through the bullet, thinking the bullet's going to go through him, and it lodges into his spine and makes him have seizures at super speed. Martian Manhunter has nanites embedded in his skin that burn in oxygen. Aquaman was hypnotized with Scarecrow's fear gas to be afraid of water.
Thank God Aquaman is not in the movie.
And Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, was blinded, and he couldn't use the ring because he was blind. And basically, Batman was preoccupied because Ra's al Ghul stole his parents' caskets and held them over a Lazarus pit. So basically, the whole team was held off, and Batman finally is able to resolve the issue with his parents' caskets, and he had to from there help each member of the Justice League that got injured by his plans. Oh, Superman had what happened was with Superman in the comic was very different from in the movie, where in the comic, Batman exposed kryptonite to intense radiation, transforming it into red kryptonite. And what this red kryptonite did to Superman was it made his skin transparent, which made him absorb solar radiation at a much more accelerated rate, to the point where he couldn't control his powers. So Superman hid in the dark side of the moon because he couldn't control his powers.
So, okay, here. Couple of problems I have with even though I've never read it, and I know it's amazing because people have told me that the comic is amazing. First of all, if they had used that version of the Superman storyline in the movie, this would be the first ever DC Universe film that would be rated R. I guarantee it. Second of all, oh God, what was it? Was it Flash or Green Lantern? No, no, it wasn't that. It was Batman and yeah. Ra's holding his parents' graves over a Lazarus pit. Thomas and Martha Wayne have been dead for how many years at this point?
The mere threat of it might working was
right. No, and I totally get that, but that's my point. Is like, can a Lazarus pit really bring bones back to life to actually be the people that the bones came from? That's my question. Because
we don't know. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
If it did work, it would have been horrific. That was the biggest worry.
Right.
If
yeah.
it did work, it would have been horrific. And also, like I said, a lot of what happened was there were lots of interesting ideas. Like Martian Manhunter was out of commission until what happened was he got an Atlantean encounter suit, is what I call it. Is basically a suit filled with water, and Martian Manhunter basically uses that while he's waiting for for his skin to shed, basically enough to where the probes are not on him anymore.
Right.
And basically Martian Manhunter had to use his mental powers to put Aquaman into sleep while they put him into a water tank, even though he's afraid of water, so that way he doesn't die from.
Did they make sure it was salt water?
Yes, they did.
Oh, the enemy below.
And
good episode.
Actually, a lot of great moments in this. And basically at the end, they destroyed Race's towers, and the League comes to a vote about Batman not trusting them.
Right.
Funny thing is I forgot to mention one other League member that was in the League during this time, Plastic Man.
Oh god.
Oh, jeez.
And Batman's plan to defeat Plastic Man was basically freeze him, then hit him with a hammer.
Okay, so that's the comic. The movie it retains some of those plot lines a little bit, but it's drastically different, and I absolutely love that it's drastically different. First of all,
Yeah, I agree. It would require a lot of backstory to explain a lot of the things that were in the comic, and by not doing that and having its own story, it is a lot stronger.
oh yes, yeah. Uh, First of all, you've got most every, and we're going to get into this more when we talk about the voices and all that stuff in a few moments after everyone's given their thoughts, but you have most of Justice League Unlimited cast coming back reprising their roles, and I'll get into that later because I have huge issues with one certain casting choice. Let's go around the room and just get everyone's thoughts. Steve, what were your overall thoughts when you first saw this?
For the most part, I just liked the whole film. I mean, I having never read the source material, I didn't have that um, dislike for the original story as far as some of the characters are concerned. So this was my first introduction to this particular plot line itself. Um, but I think the film was very well done. I would say more so than some of the other uh, Batman Superman films in the past.
Yeah, yeah. Neil, what about you?
I liked it. I like that they brought back a lot of the original cast members. The thing about this movie, I think I like it not as much as Crisis on Two Earths. It seems to be a follow up to that, maybe. This kind of felt like it should have been like a 2-part episode of the Justice League cartoon series.
Yeah,
It's a good movie, but it's not. There are other stories that I think would have worked better as a movie personally. One thing about the opening of the movie, Batman shows up. He finds a guard laying on the ground, and he turns it over, and the guard's got a card sticking out of his chest, and I'm like, oh my god, it appears to be the Ace of Spades.
No.
Yes, I couldn't help myself. I
Well,
shouted that at the top of my lungs.
well, the thing is, you mentioned this specific plot line of the plans to defeat the members of the League. Elements of this happened years before in Starcrossed even, but it was
right,
Hawkgirl who implemented the plans.
right.
So this is one of those stories that has infected the core of what it means to be in the DC universe, and it has been told in different ways. Has parts of it have been told in different ways, and I think that's one that shows just how much this has affected the DC universe and animated universe. And like I said, the best part about it is you can tell the story three different ways, and it's told three very different, very good ways.
Yeah, exactly. Um, for me, obviously, majority of the voice cast coming back was great. Um, I love the banter between Flash and Batman. I thought that was great. Um, I don't. This is going against my whole stance of NIC. I don't mind that Cyborg is in this. I don't mind it at all.
No, this is a very good portrayal of Cyborg. This is a smart, competent, somewhat meek, but at the same time able young hero that is given a chance. And I think that
Booyah.
yes, he never says booyah, and he's not. He is, like I said, he is competent, he is confident, but still meek and young, and and just I think that's a very good portrayal for this for Victor Stone. You actually have a good characterization for this character that he has been sorely missing in animation for the last 8 years. I mean, this is like I said, I like this cyborg. This cyborg is a good cyborg.
Yeah. And yes, you do have Bumper Robinson reprising his role. So, I mean, there is that familiarity to those people who think that Teen Titans is a good cartoon, which it is not. God, God, I wish there was a name we could call Teen Titans.
The cast did a good job in that show, so
Right,
it was
right.
a natural
Oh
thing.
yeah, no, it doesn't matter how bad a show is. I will never knock a voice cast because they are all talented actors and actresses.
Yeah.
So why are you saying Bumper Robinson reprises?
Because he did.
No.
Are you saying this is a different cyborg, therefore it's a completely different character? Is that what you're saying?
Bumper Robinson only played Cyborg in this movie.
Oh, you're
No,
denying.
I thought he was Cyborg in Teen Titans.
No, that was Carrie Payton.
Really?
Was it?
Yes.
Oh.
That's. Are you sure?
I'm looking at the voice cast right now.
All right, I could have sworn it was Cyborg. He was Cyborg before.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, it's damn close. Huh. Weird. Okay.
Instead of it's Ben, it's Ernie Hudson and Phil Lamar.
Wow. All right. Huh. Okay, well, in any case, because well, see, the reason why I thought Bumper reprised was because Bumper has that range of, he has a high voice like Cyborg was in Teen Titans, and he has the kind of like the low voice as what he does in this. So that's why I thought he reprised the role.
But didn't. But we do have what I love is you have Carl Lumbly back as Martian Manhunter, and he does a great job at it. But we also have another Martian Manhunter playing Vandal Savage.
Phil Morris reprises, yep. Because Phil Morris was Vandal in Justice League.
Yes, he was, and he does a very classy Vandal Savage.
I just don't like. I understand this movie is its own designs. I just don't like that look on Vandal Savage, though. That just doesn't appeal to me at all.
I sort of like the Victorian look because he's trying to look like he's high class, and
yeah,
when in the end he really is just a sophisticated Neanderthal. Because tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're right. You're right. All right, so I guess kind of go ahead and getting into the voice cast. The one issue I have with this film is they advertised it as a who's who return reprise from Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. You have Kevin Conroy, you have Susan Eisenberg, Michael Rosenbaum, Carl Lumley,
Michael
Alexis
Rosenbaum.
Denisof. Huh?
Yeah, I said Michael Rosenbaum as well, yeah.
Yeah. Olivia Dabo. I mean, you've got all these people that are coming back, and you obviously have to use the versions of the characters that aren't the Justice League voices from Tower of Babel, like Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. This is probably the best Nathan Fillion's done because he's not narrating the goddamn thing.
He's not telling a story to a person who's listening to a story while you're watching them tell the story.
Exactly. The one issue I take with this film, as much as I love the guy and I love his Superman, I love Tim Daly, I do. But if you're going to basically tout this as a Justice League cast reunion, why the fuck didn't you get George Newbern? That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
George Newbern is sitting by the phone waiting.
Actually, just to go ahead and get this information out of the way, George Newbern will be Superman in Superman vs. the Elite.
And that comic sucks. But it does.
I can't debate that with you because I've never read it. So,
but what I do love is when Bruce Timm pops into the sound booth and he just does grunts. It's like
that's Ace, yeah.
Well, anything, he when in Wake the Dead he did Solomon Grundy. Bruce Timm just pops in the sound booth and says, "I'm just gonna grunt."
Yep. And I've watched this movie over the past week and a half, like 4 different times, and I never caught this. I have to go back and watch it again to catch it. But Andrea Romano lent her voice to the Bat computer.
What I love is, you got a great voice cast, and I love Grey DeLisle, but she's doing two voices, and you have Robin Atkin Downs doing like six voices in this. It's like you have lots of people doing double and triple duty after you get past the main cast.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's not so bad because normally you would have people doing that. I mean, just look at um, Justice League. I mean, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. There was tons of times where Maria Canales-Barrera or George Newbern or Phil Lamar or even Kevin Conroy sometimes would do a uncredited voice. I mean, hell, Mark Hamill is uncredited as Solomon Grundy in Justice League. So, the double, triple threat of voices, it didn't really bother me at all.
Okay, well, Neil, tell our guests what you thought of this Sapphire costume.
Oh, I didn't really have a huge problem with it. I just said that I liked the version from the Justice League cartoon better. I do like the lavender and black combination. I like that arrangement, but
oh God. I
you bring up this random thing that I said off.
No, I know,
show.
but I just thought of something.
What?
Technically, this version of Star Sapphire is Jinx from Die Another Day when she's like, "Can't we just leave it in a little bit longer, James?" When she's got the diamond in her belly button at the end of the movie.
Oh God.
Steve, what did you think of the voice cast overall?
The voice cast? Yes. I personally, I love the fact that they got damn near everybody back. It just, if I had to choose people to play these, it obviously would be Carl Lumbly, Kevin Conroy, Susan Eisenberg, Michael Rosenbaum. I mean, all those people who played in the original Justice League, it makes this a more complete film. I didn't think Nathan Fillion did a bad job at Hal Jordan this time around, obviously, because he's acting, not reading.
Storytelling.
Yes. So, I mean, I just like the fact that they got them all back, and then the voice cast overall is pretty strong anyway, so it's hard to make any kind of knocks against this entire cast.
Yeah. I'm going to go back and reference A Better World from Justice League because the only way you could tell the difference between Justice Lord's Martian Manhunter and Justice League Martian Manhunter is the Lord's version has 4 arms instead of 2, and because it's both Carl Lumbly voicing it, and it was the same thing here where he was voicing Martian Manhunter and he was also voicing the counterpart. I can't even.
Malefica.
Yeah. Sounds like somebody Maleficent should be married to. But that was so, like, I couldn't tell those two apart once they started doing their shape shifting because it is the same voice.
And you know what? I actually had to say that the whole idea that they have to have the exact evil, the exact evil bad guy of each leaguer personally take them down. I'm not sure if I like that much. It is kind of a trope by now, in just to have one guy in his own plans do it versus having to have each person's evil bad arch nemesis has to take them down is.
Well, I was waiting for them to say, hey, we need to switch dance partners. I really was waiting for Wonder Woman to say that because it's just one of those things where you're right. I mean, while it's awesome seeing Batman go up against Bane and Superman go up against Metallo, I guess it's awesome to see Superman go up against Metallo. I mean, technically he's a walking piece of kryptonite. That's really all Metallo is. I mean,
that's all he's got.
Yeah, STAS and Justice League kind of prove that, where he's like, no, I need my kryptonite heart.
And really, like I said, if it was a little bit more about the planning and less about here are their arch nemesis, and we're going to give them these plans. If it was more that and less that, it might have been a stronger story overall. But you know what? Talking about this is not a weak story. If I,
Oh no,
I
it's not. It's not a weak story at all. I just found
we're
some of the.
we're nitpicking now. I mean, honestly, we're nitpicking. I mean, like I said, the fact that we can nitpick at this level just shows how strong this team is.
Oh yeah, no doubt at all. I just, I'm agreeing with you that I was like, I was waiting for the switch up, but I mean, it's one of those things where like I don't know a lot of Martian Manhunter's rogues gallery. I mean, hell, Wonder Woman barely has a rogues gallery.
Actually, she has quite a robust rogues gallery, but that's a
Well,
show.
they don't use a lot of it in animation.
Well,
I mean,
that's because
I mean,
a
outside of
lot of them
reusing Ares and all that. I mean,
actually a lot of them would not get past the standards and practices. Like Doctor Psycho would never get past standards and practices.
well, Doctor Destiny did. So,
Well, Doctor Psycho, his whole thing is he is the ultimate male chauvinist, and he tries to use his mind control powers to make Wonder Woman a docile housewife.
oh, so Darkseid from Super Friends.
It's much worse than that.
Right. No, I understand that, but this is the first thing I thought of. Okay, so here's the thing: you have the League, you have the Legion of Doom. For me, the one of the reasons why I think I don't mind having the character of Cyborg in here and having that Teen Titan type of connection is that essentially Cyborg is the linchpin between both of the sides. I mean, he is the one person that kind of figures everything out in this movie.
He's the one person that no one counted on. But you know what? At the same time, you have to look at it. Everyone else won their boss fight except him. He had his ass
stabbed in the back. I mean,
he had his ass handed to him by just an old man.
Yeah, and he had his arm torn off, and this time it wasn't the arm that had flesh on it, unlike the Teen Titans cartoon.
Well, he didn't have his magic powers then.
You're not getting into that. All right, so overall, as we've said, it's a really awesome. For me, now I don't count this along with the other individual movies. I don't count this with. I don't pair this up and try to say that this is better than this and whatever else. I don't count this with like Batman Under the Red Hood and all that, because this is essentially, as we all know, a team up movie. I would say it is better than Apocalypse. I would say in style and the way that it's executed, I wouldn't say it's better than New Frontier, but I enjoyed this a lot more than I did New Frontier. I enjoyed New Frontier. It was great for what its timepiece is, because that's something that's set in its own time. I mean, really. But this is easily better than both the Superman Batman movies.
Well, it has more of a rewatchability, whereas a lot of the other ones don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And this really is a very good movie. And like I said, after year one, they had to, I mean, they can only go up.
Yeah, I mean, year one. See, as I said in the year one episode, to me that is essentially, it's not a Batman story. It's a Commissioner Gordon comes to Gotham story. That's what it is. I mean, it's essentially Commissioner Gordon kicking ass.
It's Exile, a Law and Order movie.
God. That's funny. You're sending me to Staten Island? What the hell? Anyway, just a bit of trivia that I found on IMDb was that, and this is something really interesting to me. This marks the 21st time that Kevin Conroy has provided the voice for Batman Bruce Wayne. So, this is the 20th year anniversary of Batman the Animated Series, and this film was the 21st time he voiced Batman. That's awesome.
Yes, it is. Because it's really hard to find another guy who could have that kind of voice that embodies what Batman should sound like. I mean, you have this image in your mind of how these characters should sound like, and this really is how Batman should sound. I mean, one hopes that our historical figures sound as bad as Batman,
Steve, any thoughts on 21st time of voicing Batman?
Besides that's my favorite number. No, I mean, I kind of, I mean, obviously it's awesome that he actually gets to do that that many times. I just hope that he gets to keep on adding to that number trend.
Yeah. Well, they have said in the past that when they want that quote unquote classic Batman voice, they will turn to him. But when they want a different voice, they're going to go somewhere else. That's what he specifically told people at a C2E2 convention that they told him.
Well, and the thing is with that though is no one's ever going to capture the essence of Batman like Kevin Conroy did.
No,
Bruce Greenwood was pretty good.
I will admit
right,
he was good.
Yeah.
He's probably the closest that's ever come to Conroy's rendition of Batman.
Oh yes.
But
yes.
I don't think anybody else is going to capture that anytime soon.
Especially not Diedrich Bader.
Oh hell no.
Fucking Oswald. Anyways, the thing about Kevin Conroy as Batman for me at this point, because the way he does that vocal, it's obviously the same. It hasn't changed in 20 years. I mean, yes, he does do different inflections with it, but for me at this point, it's does the animation of whatever film that it's going to be him voicing the character fit his voice. Gotham Knight was the only one that I absolutely did not think he should have done.
I absolutely agree. It would have been so much better if they just got some guy off the street to do it. Hey kids, I'm Batman.
Say what you want about the Public Enemies and Apocalypse movies. Shut up, Ben. And Apocalypse movies. Him voicing Batman in those was great. But this one for me by far was his best DC film, animated film portrayal of Batman outside of the DCAU. All right. Let's see. As far as the box office goes, well, there have been no numbers to my knowledge released yet, as this movie just came out a little over 2 weeks ago. I've looked. I've tried to find it, and World's Finest, to my knowledge, hasn't done a news story on it saying, "Hey, here are the numbers. Justice League Doom is doing amazing." I'm pretty sure it's going to do amazing, whatever numbers it does get. I don't know if it would. If I had to wager, I'd say it would make anywhere between 5 and 8 million. I don't think it's going to encapsulate the evilness and the horribleness of the numbers that Superman Doomsday has. Just because apparently people like watching bad animation, and Ben is a perfect example of that.
Only to review it.
The title of that movie is a lie. They're like, oh, Doomsday's going to be in this. Oh, wait.
Yeah, exactly. So, going around the room as the IGN replacement crew, 1 to 4, 1 being don't watch this if it's free, 2 worth a watch if it's free on TV, 3 worth adding to the Netflix list. I don't even think it's on Netflix. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of the DC films on Netflix at all. And 4 obviously is this is a must own on DVD, and I'm betting all 4 of us are going to give it a 4. But Ben, what is your ranking?
I say give it a 4. This is definitely something you want to own.
Steve?
I have to agree.
Neil?
4.
And I also give it a 4, so there's that. As we've said, it is on DVD and all that good stuff. I do want to point out, and we do have to talk about the special features. The Blu-ray combo pack includes featurettes only for Blu-ray called Guarding the Balance, Batman and the JLA, a mini featurette called Their Time Has Come, Cyborg and the DC Universe's New Diversity, while both Blu-ray and the 2-disc DVD edition has Legion of One, the Dwayne McDuffie story, and a sneak peek at Superman vs. the Elite, and of course 2 bonus episodes of Justice League, being Wild Cards Part 1 and Part 2. The iTunes version, which is what I bought, has JLA 43 digital comic. It has the Dwayne McDuffie story, and it also has the Cyborg story. So The iTunes version, you are still going to get that. And that Dwayne McDuffie story, oh my God, that was just so heartfelt. That was just so awesome to just see. It's essentially a 40-minute biography on Dwayne McDuffie. And for people, I know Ben, you watched it on Amazon. Neil, I don't know how you watched it.
I watched the movie on demand cable. I didn't see it.
Oh, okay.
I did not get any of that. I just got the movie.
Yeah. Right. You guys either have to get it on iTunes or go buy the DVD, because let's face it, Dwayne McDuffie, once they went unlimited, he was essentially the voice and the face of Justice. I mean, he was the one going gung ho to do all the amazing things they did in the unlimited part of Justice League. He was the one that wanted to do all the team ups. He was the one that wanted to do all this. But this 40-minute documentary was just so, looking into his life. You've got Phil Lamar on there talking about him. You've got his wife on there talking about him. You've got a guy from Marvel when he worked at Marvel. Bruce Timm is on there talking about it. It's an amazing story if you're interested to know the life and times of Dwayne McDuffie.
Okay, sounds like it's something worth picking up.
Yes, very much so. So we're going to take a break here on ToonCast Beyond. We're going to go to some commercials and other stuff, and then we'll come back to close the show.
It's Batman. What's happening? Batman! I'm still running! Alfred, get the Batwing ready. The Justice League is under attack.
By whom?
By me!
Like animation? Come listen to Animation Aficionados.
And if you disagree with us, you could be a guest on a future show.
Available on iTunes, the Zune Market, and animationaficionados.com.
2012 marks the 30th anniversary for Masters of the Universe. We here at the GCRN are celebrating with a brand new series of podcasts. The Powers of Grayskull series will cover every episode of every MOTU cartoon. Yes, even that crappy New Adventure stuff. Join Optimus Solo and TFG1 Mike as they tell tales of Eternia, discover the myths of Etheria, become masters in space, and finally masters of Grayskull. You can find the Pogs podcasts in iTunes and the web at www.geekcastradio.com. Good journey!
Movie Week in Review is the Geekcast Radio Network's weekly movie podcast. Steve and Mike take a look back on their favorite films and give you their thoughts. They also bring in co-hosts at times. If you are a movie buff, listen to M-Wire only on geekcastradio.com.
You can now hear the Geekcast Radio Network while on the go with Stitcher Smart Radio. Stitcher is a free-use and talk mobile app available for your smartphone. And when you download Stitcher to hear Geekcast Radio, you'll have a chance to win money. Downloading is quick and easy. Just find Stitcher in the App Store. During registration, hit the promo code box and enter Geekcast Radio, all one word, to get automatically entered to win $100. The latest episodes of the shows will be waiting for you in your favorites. You'll get access to lots of other amazing shows too. Always available to you on demand, no syncing. It's Stitcher Smart Radio. Don't forget to enter promo code Geekcast Radio when you register.
And we're back. And any other final thoughts, guys?
Neil?
Just really quick that I like the fight choreography once again in this movie, because especially the scene with Wonder Woman knocking out all the
cheetahs.
Yeah. She at one point she just picks up a tree and wails on them. She was killing people in that scene. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, the fight choreography was well done. So, Mike, your thoughts? Final thoughts?
I absolutely loved it. I know we didn't hit every single character as far as the movie goes. I love how essentially Dwayne McDuffie wrote this to almost emulate Star-Crossed Part 3, where Batman says, essentially, he doesn't say this, but essentially, I'm going to mince words here. Essentially, fuck the vote. If you guys don't think I need to be here, I won't be here.
Yeah. That's pretty much how it
absolutely.
went in the comics as well.
Yeah, I absolutely love that part. I agree with Neil. The fight with Wonder Woman and Cheetah herself. The original Cheetah was great, and then of course all the other cheetahs that she saw. What really kind of hit home for me was, just as a final thought, was the fact that Batman is right. What if the Justice League went rogue? And we've seen that in the DCAU, but Superman throws it right back at him. Well, what if you went rogue? And then he's like, well, that's what the Justice League is for.
I like that not all of them look down upon him. Which one? I think it was the Green Lantern that actually saw it from his perspective and didn't have much of a problem with it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it went in the comics as well.
Steve?
I don't really have any final thoughts. I really like this film.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so thank you for joining us here on ToonCast Beyond and the Animation Aficionados crossover. There's several ways to get in contact with us to leave feedback for the show. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com. You can also go over to animationaficionados.com to check out their stuff. Leave the show's feedback in iTunes. Please do this. Follow us on Twitter. The show name there is ToonCast Beyond. Ben, what is the AA Twitter?
A Aficionados.
Neil, what is your Twitter?
Neil Sama.
Steve?
SCP-21.
And mine is TFG1 Mike. Become a fan on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/GeekCast Radio Network and facebook.com/AnimationAficionados. Call our voicemail line. Tell us the show you're leaving a message for and your name. 502-526-5821. We hope you enjoyed this ToonCast Beyond Animation Aficionados crossover spotlight on the DC Universe animated films, and wish you'll join us next time when we'll be continuing on in Season 1 of Toon Beyond with The Batman. For now, I am TF2 and Mike with
Steve Megatron Phillips,
Mr. Neil,
and Ben.
Thank you for listening. Until next time.
What time?
Good night.
I've carefully studied every Justice Leaguer, past and present, and created contingency plans to neutralize you, should that ever become necessary.
You've got to be kidding me with that.
Neutralize, not kill. Whoever implemented my plans altered them.
It's still a completely unacceptable breach of our trust.
The members of the Justice League are among the most powerful and potentially dangerous people on the planet.
You think one of us would go over to the other side?
Or succumb to mind control? Yes, it's possible. That's why I developed plans for containing any or all members of the JLA, should the need ever arise.
None of us would ever do that to you.
Then you're damn fools.